The engine on the bus goes vroom, 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 vroom. The engine on the bus goes vroom, 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 all through the town.
Vroom, vroom.
Okay, so this is Chewy and Raul. So anyway, we're working on the yellow page on leadership and culture cycle. So it's this one, the one with this interesting chart. And the question that we chose to answer would be on which elements of the culture cycle do we know the best and worst jobs. So before we answer, I think, and then moving forward after that is to talk about start, stop, continue, and which action we can take. And Raul can give us a context of how we approach this one.
Yeah, actually, what we've been doing since we joined DDB, I would assume that we have a strong culture, and we know how to do the right things. We take pride in what we're doing, and that all means that all point to the direction that we have a strong culture. On the other hand, there are things that we have really not communicated well, and this could be things that we need to take stock and moving forward, be able to recognize and do something about it.
Okay, so to answer the question very briefly on which two things we think we're doing a good and a bad job on, one very strong trait of the group is that we actually participate actively in the voice survey, and we're looking at an average of 99% participation. So I think it's an awesome job. Thank you, Anna. But I think something that we need to be able to do better would be to communicate and maybe demonstrate. Actually, it's two things, the new behaviors. So given that, what we have agreed on what we can start, stop, and continue, and which action is for start, it's very simple. We need to be better in aligning our corporate vision and with our personal goals and growth ambitions, so that it's very tangible for people what they want out of working with us. And to stop, we really want to stop lip service. I mean, talking about the results and doing nothing about it really sucks. Continue definitely will be to listen and continue the participation in the voice, because I think and we think now it's an even more powerful tool. And then finally, I can't read my handwriting for the action.
It's over-communicate.
Over-communicate. There you go. Spoken like a true PR practitioner.
Oh, and we really intend to get out of our holes, get out of our silos, and really reach out and talk to you guys, and really make a difference in everyone's lives, and make a difference for DTV.
Awesome. That's it. Thank you.
Hi team. Our group was tasked to think of ideas on how we could lead the organization to learn and innovate. That's based on the yellow page that was given to us. And this is how we plan to start. We need to identify new talent. By new talent, we mean we need to identify what is already existing in that person, find a new talent within that person. If that person is used to doing accounts, maybe he can pitch in some creative ideas also. It's trying to find new characteristics in that person so that we can maximize the talent of that person. Practice what we preach. We need all of these learnings that we've received during the management training need to be put into practice, and we need to be conscious about the learnings. We need to be conscious about cascading all of these learnings to our team, since they depend on us to coach them and make them better staff. We also need learning both from our mentors and staff, and vice versa. There is some sort of collaboration that needs to happen between the management and the staff, and the leaders of the organization and the managers of each account. We need to initiate new platforms or spaces where we can share knowledge, whether it's formal or informal. Take for example the thing that we're doing now within Ripple 8, which is an informal platform, Ripple 8 Radar. This was initiated by our creative director, and he started this group so that we can start sharing ideas within a closed group in Facebook, and try to learn as much as we could in the sphere of social media, trying to share new information, whatever new innovations are out there, creative ideas, and most of these are foreign ideas. It would also be good if we could feature ideas that are coming from our own accounts locally, so that we could learn from each other within the DDB Group Philippines, learn from each other's account. It's not just doing our own accounts and let them be nurtured under us. We also need to share that outside of each department so that we could learn best practices within the organization. There needs to be refresher sessions or courses. I remember this being done, I remember learning sessions being done 2 years ago. Small topics that were being initiated by our HR. I think that needs to start again, because those are actually good ideas, good activities for employees. But I think what needs to be done this time is that it needs to have more interesting, more engaging topics, more practical topics that we can actually learn from and use in our work, because it seems like the topics before were kind of highfalutin, something we couldn't relate to. And I think it would help us, it would benefit the staff and the management more if the topics were actually relatable to our, very close to what we do in our work. I think the last thing that we need to start on working is the sharing of knowledge needs to be a priority. Take opportunity in every crisis, in every situation that needs problem solving. We think that every opportunity like this, every challenge that we encounter in every account is a learning moment for everyone, whether you're a staff or you're a leader within the group. And for us managers who are taking part of this training session, when we go back to our offices, when we go back to our daily grind, we need to be more conscious about that. When we encounter problems in our accounts, we need to be more conscious about, I can use this as a learning moment for me and my staff, instead of just panicking and trying to firefight that situation. One thing that we need to stop is being an island. We need to have a common goal. We need to stop being indifferent from each other, and we need to stop being indifferent or even ignorant of other departments within DDB Group Philippines. We need to be conscious that we are one family, we are one group of companies, and that best practices, knowledge can be shared within the group. We don't necessarily need to bring in external talent or external ideas for us to improve ourselves. We already have that bulk of information that we can use to develop ourselves. It's just a matter of sharing that within the group for the benefit of our group, whether it will be for the good of our people, it will be good for our revenues, whether it will be good for the entire organization or even in the region. Two things that we need to continue. Number one is sharing of information. This is we could say that this is being actively done right now, but only a few people are doing this within the organization. So as I said, it needs to be a conscious effort for each member of the team to be sharing information, sharing learning, whether, no matter how small it is, because you don't know that the next big idea, the next big great campaign can come from that very small idea from a seemingly unnoticeable member of the staff. And we need to continue nurturing talent. What the management is doing right now, putting us through this management training program, is actually a good thing, because we need to be developed so that we can be more useful to the organization. We can contribute better, and we hope that more sessions like these can come up for the rest of the members of the organization, and that's how we could maximize learning in the organization, and hopefully with all of these learnings we can begin innovating how we can change our processes, how we can change our the way we do our work, not necessarily easier, but a bit more innovative in a way, something more unique that will identify as that this is how DDB Philippines does its work, and it needs to be excellent all the time. Thank you.
So, speaking on the subject of treating employees like clients, I believe that it should be a relationship. And with any meaningful relationship, there are always like certain aspects, or would you say like basis of a relationship. One would be honesty. Another one would be, of course, mutual respect. And for me, the most important thing also would be trust, which I believe one of our co-workers would like to go into deeper. But among all of these three, I believe that this is the most important and equally the hardest one to give. Yeah, good. James.
So, what should we start on? Start. So we should trust our co-employees like clients trust their brands as well. Trusting our co-employees would be good because we are giving them a sense of pride in what they do. Thus, employees produce great work that continue to grow our clients' business. Happy employees will lead to happy clients.
Yes.
Stop salvaging those who underperforms, simply because if we're working towards one goal, which is to be successful or to be efficient, we should have the right people onboarded. Simply put, those underperforms should be eliminated, and then we get the right ones to perform their duties.
Continue to cultivate us through learnings, through seminars, through trainings, the knowledge that we can learn from these trainings will be an added amount to our knowledge, and that will improve our craft. And the bottom line of everything is we can be an asset of the agency.
The importance of internal branding. We believe that having a strong internal core will serve as a solid foundation for how we work every day, whether within ourselves and with other people. Luckily, the global DDB group already has core values set for us in stone to guide us, which are the 4 freedoms. First is the freedom from fear. We work in an environment that does not intimidate us. It encourages us to push our boundaries and explore the unfamiliar, and in effect, producing great work. We have freedom to fail. We should accept the fact that when we do take a risk, we don't always succeed, but we can use it as a springboard for learning. We also have freedom from chaos. We all know that no company is perfect. There will always be chaos, whether it's within the management or within our clients. So we should free ourselves from all the chaos and do our own work the best way that we can. And we have the freedom to be. Basically, that's expressing our individuality and embracing everyone else's.
You're on. Pause. To establish a strong internal branding, we should continue following the four freedoms, which we have been doing already so far, and stop treating the four freedoms as just words. We need to put more action and implementation. And most importantly, we have to start building a local vision based or coherent with DDB values.
What I really liked or loved the most about the program was the feeling of unity among all of the leaders within the group, and the fact that we all really felt strongly about coming together to put together a shared vision for the group. On a personal note, I really liked the fact that I learned the importance of being an authentic and consistent leader. And also, of course, most importantly, that we need to put people first before product and profit. And that also then means being more disciplined in terms of what we should be committing our time to, what should we be saying yes or no to as well.
Well, I think what's critical here is that we discovered to ask the right questions. I think the key takeaway that we have here, at least for me, is that to ask the question whether we know what value clients are looking for in terms of working with agencies, and an introverted question of asking ourselves, what value do we bring to the table? I think it's very, very powerful, and I think that's what made the entire session very helpful for us.
The BLP training program was very helpful. I learned how to value our people as agency's most important asset. And I also learned how to value the art of listening and giving feedback immediately. And I think that would help me a lot as a leader, really be an authentic manager.
The BLP training was really helpful because just this week, actually today, which was a couple of days after the training, I found myself like using what I've learned already. And right at the moment that I found myself, I caught myself using what I learned. But it's like that was my first realization that I really picked a lot of things from the training. And I won't be surprised if like later today or tomorrow or the next couple of days, what I learned during the training will just like naturally come out of my mouth when I start talking to my team or when I'm interacting with my team. So it was very helpful. It wasn't just like a class full of theories that I cannot apply because I just applied the first one, today. So it was really helpful.
I think that's a no-brainer. but I sincerely recommend it only if you've gone through the previous management training program first, because you'll get overwhelmed with what kind of learning, the structure, the learning, and the sessions that we're gonna have with the learning leader. So you better make sure you're ready for it.
Yeah, I would actually highly recommend BLP training program because you will learn a lot about the meaning of what leadership is and how to lead effectively.
Yeah, definitely I would recommend it because when you're a leader already, like I am, and the rest of the people who took the training, you think that you know everything and you have very little to learn in terms of how you carry out your job. But during the course of the 3-day training, I found out that there's still a lot of things that I don't know or things I thought I knew, but there was a better version of that I learned during the training.
First one, I would say it's very intense. Number two, it's very liberating because of the discussion, because of the insights you're gonna get. And I think the third one, it's also very empowering because instead of you being trapped with difficult situations that you're seeing as a leader, you'll be able to unlock insights to maybe help solve the problems that you're seeing.
It is awesome.
The training was very incisive. It not only presented the basic learning or the basic things that we had to learn. It also cracked them or sliced them wide open for us to better understand why we need to learn them and how we can apply them better on a more practical level. Second, it was very insightful. You really get the training really led us to a place where we really fully understand what was being talked about. And it gave you a lot of angles in terms of how you can better appreciate every situation, in terms of how to deal with people, how to apply what you learn, and how to go about your job, carrying out your job. Lastly, third word is very rich, actually. After the third day, I was kind of tired already because it was just so much. Covered so much in 3 days, but I think the proper way to go about it is just like a rich experience because considering that we only spent 3 days, we covered so much, and I think this was evident in Craig always ending each day by saying we covered so much, and we did because it was just like a really rich experience. It was a packed experience.
Hi, JDC Craig and my band of brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for this transformational experience. I'm really so excited to see how we're going to shape the future of the group together. And I'm so excited for all the great heights we're going to reach together.
Craig, thank you so much for being such an inspiring and powerful leader. GDC, thank you for letting us be part of this amazing program, and I hope I won't let you guys down. Thank you.
Thank the DDB group of companies, especially GGC for coming, and Judd, of course, for coming up with this BLP training program. And also, I'd like to thank Craig for being patient with us and being very engaging mentor. So thank you, Craig. Thank you, GGC, and thank you, Judd.
Yeah, I'd like to thank our chairman, GGC, for bringing it in. I think it was a very good idea because it became accessible to more people here, as opposed to sending people abroad, which could be more expensive. By bringing Craig here in the Philippines, it wasn't, the learnings were not just accessible to more leaders, but also more managers, because a lot of managers took it last week, their version of the BLP. So yeah, thanks for that. And it's not a learning process that you can find in some other agencies, because not all agencies offer, an avenue for real training and real learning.
The program helped me by I guess by validating ideas that I've had in the past, going through the case studies, it kind of proved right the things that I was thinking about management.
I could walk away from this workshop and apply the lessons we've learned immediately. So it's the first time I've attended a workshop where we were given practical tips, or even given graphs that we could apply already on Monday.
I learned about my strengths, I learned about my weaknesses, so I can go back to the office and do the right thing, improve what's weak, and continue what's strong.
I learned a lot from the program, a lot of learnings, insights, and I'm actually excited to apply the frameworks to next week.
I definitely recommend this program, to the future managers of the organization. It's very, very helpful. It has a lot of practical tips, real-world tips that you can use. It can also frames the tips in non-ad agency stories so that it becomes more understandable and relatable.
I would also recommend it. You learn about yourself as a person, as a manager, and then number two, you're able to help more people.
Definitely, I'll recommend it to everyone, especially those in the senior positions. So it's very enriching, and you learn a lot of ways on becoming great managers and leaders.
Well, I recommend it to everyone because one, it's practical, and two, very apt for DDB employees.
Practical, useful, and very real.
I'd have to say it was enlightening, it was exciting, and it was mind-opening.
Yeah, it's mind-opening, it's enriching, and definitely your money's worth.
It's challenging, exhausting, but fun.
Coming from us four, a big thanks. Big thanks to Craig, our facilitator, and I guess thanks also for the organization for having us here.
Thank you everyone.
Craig. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Thank you, DDB.
The program helped me discover more about myself. I got a deeper sense of who I am and where I currently stand as a manager and handling a team, and it gave me the proper tools that I can implement immediately on Monday as I come back to the office.
Okay, for me it's more of like similar to what you said. It's more of realizing and knowing yourself more, and coming from that, what are the steps that you need to do, not just for yourself, for the company, but for your team and for the employees. Once really that struck me is you need to get in the way. You need to get out of the way for others to be future managers as well. So that's one thing that's probably the first thing I would do on Monday, starting Monday.
Definitely. One, because to be honest, this is the best so far workshop or training that I have attended to. It's fun. It's really impressive. The way I assess myself, I got to know myself better.
I think it helps us get the information and the knowledge from different standpoints and different viewpoints so that we can frame ourselves and the processes that we have to implement better because of the cases that were given to us. It's given us a wider view of different problems and different ways to solve and manage problems and manage your own teams and companies. So I think that's a good learning experience from this program.
One is stressful, enlightening, and fulfilling.
Craig, thank you so much. We've learned a lot, tons actually, from the series, from this seminar. Within the 3 days, we've covered so much, a lot, and there are a lot of realizations and next steps because of this. So thank you. We really appreciate it.
Of course, we would also like to thank the DDB Group for giving us this opportunity, and that personally I would have never gotten otherwise. The learnings that I've gotten from this are immense and tremendous and eye-opening and life-changing, really. So that's a huge thank you.
Thank you to TTP Group and Craig. This is very inspiring. This will get us more. This will get us way ahead. Be more of a better person, better manager. Thank you.
Hi Craig and DDB Management, thank you for this experience, and we have learned a lot in the 3-day session, and it taught us on how easy it is to be a good leader. It seems so simple, but this is the first step, and we promise to not to disappoint you guys.
Thank you, DDB. Thank you, Craig.
The program was very helpful in actually making us realize our own strength and our weaknesses as well. These are things that we can actually build on and improve on as leaders, that we can pass through to our co-workers or staff. So I would have to say is in regards to professional development and career advancement, this is very good for us.
The program has helped me because first it validated the things that I think that I'm doing right as a manager. You would think that perhaps in a seminar you don't know what exactly you'll learn that you'll be able to apply in real life, but this type of program teaches specific case studies, which are real life stories from businesses all over the Omnicom industry, and they're really very interesting and something that we can all relate to. And the way we were able to analyze each case study made us learn a lot about ourselves, about our strengths, and about those that need improvement, and be able to apply it in the future. So it was really very valuable use of our time.
I think the program helped me think deeper into my role as a manager in the group. It helped spark in me some sort of a little bit of change in the way I think about my work and the way I should approach my work. It also encouraged me now to be more persistent about this, because it does bring it will bring good results for me if I do this well. And I like the idea that I'm being tasked to be the one that leads the change and effect that change for the good of my co-workers in the office.
I recommend it because so far, well, in the 3 days that we've been doing the program, I've learned a lot about myself, the type of person that I am, the type of behavior that I have, and I think in terms of, in the practical sense, it will help me how to become a better manager, how to better manage the people under me or the staff around me, and from the case studies that we heard for the past 3 days, they were very inspiring. It somehow invigorates you also. Because there's a lot that we learned that we can use use later on when we do our work, when we do face-to-face with client. At the same time, it's also humbling. That's one of the key reasons why I like it, because I had a different perception of who I was, and after the sessions, now I know, and with the people validating who they think I was, I think it makes me a better person, a better manager overall.
So fun, insightful, awesome. So we would like to thank you.
Thank you.
Whoever is watching this, thank you to GGC first
thank
of all.
you.
And take part.
And everyone who was
Yeah.
part of it.
Thank you for
Thanks to
providing us
DB.
this opportunity to learn and learn not just about the group, but really learning more about ourselves.
It helped me correct or learn new techniques I need to do to become an effective leader.
Yes, of course. For two reasons, the cases are very informative, and the situations tackled were very relatable. These two we can share with our colleagues to make our working relationship more collaborative.
For me, it was enlightening. Enlightening, why? Because it gave me more a sense of who I was as a person, not only in my personal life, but also professionally, as a manager, as a colleague. It gave me more reason and ways on how to deal with other people and how to manage clients and challenges along the way.
Empowering because it gave me a broader perspective of how a manager should be to be effective. There were tools presented, new insights, and what's good about this is it's not just new or new knowledge, but we were also taught to unlearn some things, which I think is vital to every manager or employee per se.
The experience is very motivating. Again, like what Candice said, there are a lot of things that we learn. It's very motivating. It made me feel like I can do a very good job, and anyone can do it. Just we have to believe in ourselves. Yeah, it's a wonderful experience.
Thank you, DDB.
Thank you, DDB.
Thank you, DDB, for
Thank you, Gray.
for this
Thank you,
wonderful
Gray.
experience, and thank you,
Really
Craig.
learned a lot. Thank you.